Hello everyone, good morning, welcome back. And for those who are new, welcome. My name is Elece. I am the owner of the Infusion production. I'm an author, poet, and also a speaker. On this channel, I talk about cultures, traditions, lifestyle, and anything in between. I'm very passionate about that. And today I am going to cook. I'm going to make one of the, I would say, very famously well made in, I can't even say in Zimbabwe. This is actually in Africa. A lot of African countries, they make this dish. It's a donut made in our own way. In a sense, it's like our own twist of a donut, but it's really, really delicious. And a lot of the African, countries, they make this. Some they make it a little bit harder. Some they make it like real, like hard, like it's dried up. And some they make it, but coming from kind of like the same dough. And here I'm going to show you the ingredients. I hope this camera will allow me to do so. I'll show you the ingredients that I have here. I have flour. This is 4 cups of flour. And I have a half cup of sugar. I try to use a measuring cup. This is a half cup of sugar. And I have yeast. This is active dry yeast. I think you can use any kind of yeast. I don't think it matters too much. And here I have 1 teaspoon of salt. To this size of amount that I'm going to make here, this is going to be what it is. And then if you are going to make, like when I make for my family, we like them and we eat a lot of this. So most of the time I'll make like double this amount. And so depending on your size of the family, you can even cut to half of this flour, half of everything. Most people, I think some people, you're familiar with what's called soul food. They say there's no measurements to soul food. Most people in Africa, we don't really have all these measurements. But to try and keep a standard for myself, I did some measurements and I came up with, a certain amount. I worked with it and I came with certain amount that I found out it really works well. So this is what we are going to do. We also have cooking oil. In this pot, I put cooking oil. And I'm going to show you the ingredients as we go. And we have about a cup of water. I just put it in this jar, but it's a cup of water, about a cup and a half. Sometimes you can kind of look and see how it looks, but like I say, it's like soul food. You don't have all the measurements in place, but you kind of have to eyeball, But in this case, I try for the sake of, what I wanted to do and share with others. It's a little bit more standardized and it helps a little bit when you're starting to do it. But on the oil, I use vegetable oil. You can use, I don't think things like, for those who are thinking of health, this is, maybe this is not the best time to be health, like olive oil. Olive oil is not very good in frying because we are going to fry this. So I would say, use either vegetable or some other oil that you can use for frying. Peanut oil is pretty good. Canola, if you use that. Those are all good frying thing. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pour the flour into the dish. And I'm going to put the half a cup of sugar into the dish. And I'm going to, it's really quick and easy. Maybe you can't see what I'm doing here. I'm going to try and create some space where you can see what I'm doing here. So if I put the flour and the sugar in a dish. Let me see if I can. Okay, now this is the flour and the sugar in a dish, and then I am going to add on the 1 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to put 2 leveled teaspoons very leveled. Don't overdo it. 2 leveled of 1, 2 of yeast. And this is all actually done. And I have this wooden spoon to stir with, so I will just go real simple. And I'll put my water. It's quick. Making this, just mixing alone, maybe might take you. Sometimes on the water, we might need to add some more, depending on how we see how things are going. Sometimes, you can, 1.5 to 2. Sometimes 2 cups is much better because you want it to be left fluffy and easy to drop. Actually, when it is fluffy, it's much better. This kind of a dessert, whenever it's fluffy, it's much better. So as you can see here, 1.5 cup was not enough. So I need more. So I am going to get some more water to make sure this is going to be mixed well. As I'm mixing with that wooden spoon, you don't have to be. I added like another cup. You don't have to be caught up too much into the what do you mix with, and is it a wooden spoon, and it doesn't matter. Anything that can mix this dough and mix it well and leave it. Okay, it doesn't have to be anything special. Okay, so here I think 2 cups is the best. Okay, so I already told you it's like soul food. Sometimes there's no real measurements. Sometimes there is, but it's not all straightforward. This is the measurement. Okay, this dough had to be left a little bit thicker. That's why you have to be careful on the water, because when it becomes too thin, it might miss something when you are cooking it. It might cook maybe faster or something like that. So you want to leave it somewhat. It shouldn't be like those who know about pancakes. It shouldn't be like pancake dough. It should be thicker. See that? Pancake dough, it seems like it goes a little bit more like faster down. But this should be thicker. And so I would say 2 cups to 4 cups, 2 cups of water to 4 cups of, let me move this. 2 cups of water to 4 cups of flour. That should be okay. And again, remember, I always remind people, a mug is not a cup. A mug is 2 cups. Most mugs are 2 cups. So don't take a mug and 2 of them and you say you are making 2 cups. No, it's not. So please understand that a cup is a cup. If you are not sure, use measuring cups like this that has all the stuff there for you. Okay, so this is the dough that we want. Okay, this is the dough that we are looking at. Okay, and this dough here, you can scoop it with a spoon, a regular spoon, because when we are dropping this dough into the oil, it has to be scooped nicely into the thing. It could be slightly thicker if you want, but this is pretty good. This type, it's pretty good. So what I'm going to do here to get that yeast mix up here and rise a little bit, I'm going to leave it for about maybe 20 minutes. 20 minutes is pretty good. I'm just going to cover it with just a plate. Sometimes to add a little bit more moist in it, I put like a dish towel, then I put a plate to kind of make it a little bit more warmer so it can rise up faster. And then meanwhile, I am going to heat up the oil. And again, you don't have to be caught up into where do I put. As you can see, I'm using a pot. And if you use anything, it shouldn't be shallow. It should be deep, because when you are frying, in order to shape the donuts well, they have to be in something that is more deep. There's something about that where things, they come up a little bit more shaped better than if you put in shallow. Shallow means also the thing is spread out somehow. There's a science in that. And then if you want them to be round and good, they're going to be round. They have to be in a deep thing. And the oil is slightly about half this pot. Slightly about half, not exactly half, slightly lower than half. Then I'm going to put my oven. The oven heat depends on what kind of an oven. So I would say wherever you know that you would put oil and it will heat nicely, where it's not going to burn your stuff as you are cooking, I would say it's the right temperature. But I don't think there's a real good temperature, because stoves are very different. I say oven, sorry for that. Many stoves, they are very different, and the way they heat is so different. So pay attention to that. What kind of a temperature do you normally just heat up oil and it doesn't quickly, it's already burning before the time you expect it to burn, because it shouldn't burn. And this heating of the oil, for me, I might take about maybe almost like the same time as this dough, about 15 to 20 minutes. The oil should be heated up, and I'll be coming and making the donuts. And I forgot to show you too, the flour that I use is all-purpose flour. Sometimes I use self-raising flour. It really don't matter. And it doesn't matter, again, which brand. You can use any kind of flour, any brand. Because you can't really use wheat flour. It's a little too heavy for something like this. So it had to be one of these. And, so I use that. If you are into the health, you can even buy organic of this. Most of the time I use that, but I don't have that right now. So I'm using this. So this is, what we are, in a few minutes, we are going to be making these donuts, and we are going to be eating. Yeah, so now our dough is ready, and I am going to just hold on a second here. Yeah, so now our dough is ready, and I'm going to point out after a few things. This is the dough. I don't know if you can really see properly, but what you have to look at is some little bubbles. They did not come out as much as they would, but you could leave this dough overnight. You can make it much longer, depending on what you want, really. And it doesn't matter. Most of the time when I want to make a bigger bunch and I want to do much more work in the morning, I make it the night before and just keep it sometimes out, sometimes in the refrigerator, depending on if it already rise out, I'll keep in the refrigerator. But it rises enough now where I can just mix it up a little bit with a spatula, just a little bit mixing up. It's not much. And then there's a few items I want to point out. Sometimes I use this as I'm cooking. Sometimes I use this, depending on a spoon that is, like that, because then you want to drain the oil. And sometimes for flipping, then I use this, okay? Depending on whatever you want. You could be a fork, could be whatever, chopstick, if you use chopsticks, and I usually, this is a container of water, and this is a spoon that I use to measure my dough and put in the oil. And the oil, pretty much, the first thing you might want to do is really just taste it with a little bit of some dough, and you just taste it and you see how that goes. Trying to get you. And as soon as that dough went there, it floats on top. I think you see that. That's a very good sign that oil is ready to go. That's a good sign. And also the dough is ready to go. It's good. You know, there's nothing more. So I dip this spoon in water so that it doesn't stick. And some people might think, oh, water with oil. No, no, no. There's no problem. I think there's something that happens when you mix the water and oil, but there's a dough. I'm not sure, but it doesn't really hurt you and it won't be dangerous. Then I'm going to, depending on how many, this amount size of dough, it can bring about 2 dozen, depending on how big these ones that you are scooping in, okay? And also, depending on how big the pot you are using is, a frying pan you are using is, you can put as many. In this small pot that I'm using, it's very small. I actually only can put about 6 to 7 donuts. That's all I can put. And that trial that we did, this is a real donut of the trial that we did. And we can break it up. And you can see holes inside. And it's fluffy. It's not heavy. It's just fluffy. And I'm going to start eating. And oh, I can tell you, you just need to go ahead and make it and go ahead and eat. That's all I can say. Because this is very, very good. And if you are enjoying this right now, keep watching. This recipe is the original recipe. This is the recipe that everybody uses. This is original. This is very easy. This is straightforward. This is, I'm trying to make you see me, but anyway, it's okay. You've seen me before. But everybody makes it this way because it's cheaper for a lot of people. And of course, you don't have to really struggle with other stuff. But later on, as I was making, as you know, I'm a writer, we are creative people, I decided to do flavors with these donuts. I decided I'm going to try flavors and see how that works. And I found out actually it was an amazing experiment. So keep watching. I'm going to make these donuts in all different flavors. And when I'm talking about flavors, I'm not talking about the bottles of flavors that people they buy in the store and put and make it pink and orange and all that. No, I'm talking about the real thing. So also, if you're a person who is concerned about healthy donuts, so now look at this. This is what we get. After like 2 minutes, that pot of the donuts is all ready. So let me show you this. See that? That's what you get. And you start taking them out. They are ready to go. Ready, 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 ready. Completely ready to go. Okay? In just a few minutes, I'll be done making these 2 dozen of the donuts. And then the next thing that will be left, then I'm putting another one. And I do the same thing. I dip my spoon in water, and when I found out it's about to be kind of like sticky, I go ahead and I dip it again. And you can make these things as big as you want to. Some people, they really make them big. Some people, they make them real tiny. To make them all the way round, I remember making these things for the Japanese people. And they are very particular when it comes to their food, how it's arranged and how it's put together. And they had a little bit of a hard time that the donut wasn't all the way round. There's ways you can do this. There's really ways you can make them real round. There's some drop, things that you can buy that you squeeze and drop. And sometimes they make those donuts really round, exactly round, maybe the way, if you're that particular. For me, it's okay. I don't really care, how round they are. They have to look decent, but not like I can worry about it. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing before we finish this whole cooking part of it. It's an additional thing that also I just thought about. This is not the way how most people, they would do it, but I thought, why not? This is powder sugar. And I'm just going to do this with a sifty thing, and I'm going to put powder sugar in those donuts. Just a little bit of sprinkle, and it just added the more yumminess in it. It's not like you're wanting to put more sugar in it. It's just like adding a little bit more more enjoyment that you are adding. And this is our donuts. Pretty soon we'll be eating. So friends, here we are. I bring you African donuts. And to make sure that you know that they are good, I'm just going to taste the one here. And I think my grandson is coming to have some. Then thank you so much for watching, and be sure to watch out for more of these, but in flavors, natural flavors that will be coming in this. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, right now I'm just biting on one. The salt, the sugar, you can taste all these flavors in there. Everything is in there. It's good. And you can try it at home. It's easy. So I'll give you the recipe. Some of you are wondering where the recipe is. I'm going to give you the recipe. Thank you.